Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about skincare, grooming, and sometimes hair, so if that sounds like your thing, make sure you are subscribed. Also, come and follow me on Instagram where I post a lot of stuff you're not going to see here on YouTube. You join me on what is the hottest day of the year once again, so apologies for my sweatiness, my shininess, my redness. It's warm. I've experimented with my fair share of products and product types, and I've kind of come to a conclusion, my own conclusion of what I feel over the years is really necessary and what isn't, and what's a bit of a luxury kind of item. Products that I look back on and think, oh, I wish I had that when I was a teenager. That would have really benefited me. Or through my 20s, what I wish I had, what I wish I didn't use. So today I want to share with you what I think is some essential products that you definitely need, what products make some nice kind of extra additions to your routine, and the products that you 100% don't need in your routine, but make a nice luxury kind of item. There's so many different products out there and so many new tools and everything coming out that sometimes we can feel like we need it all and that we have to have those products and ingredients and whatever to make our skin good, when really it's all about nailing the basics, then kind of understanding what you can add on top of that and what you don't really need. What is just marketing, I guess. Remember, I'm not licensed in any way, and nor should you take my word as gospel. This is all based on my own personal experience with skin and skincare products, so I'm just sharing what I feel my skin truly needed and what it really doesn't. So please take this as a guide and take into consideration your own personal skincare concerns, any prescription stuff you might be on as well. Okay, let's talk about the essentials. What I really feel are the must-have products that you must have in your routine. I'm going to keep this a bit short because I have a whole video about it that I recommend you go and watch, but the essentials are a cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen. These really are the essentials. It's a quick but effective routine, and a great beginner's routine as well. If you're really not into your skincare but you think you should have a skincare routine, this is what I would go for. One thing I do want to say, I get a lot of comments like, well, I just use my soap, I use my 2-in-1 body wash shampoo and it works great for me, I have good skin. That's great, that's absolutely fine. Just do what is working for your skin. If you don't have a routine, one of my good friends from university, she splashes her face with water and she's always had the most amazing skin. If that works for you, please continue to do it. You are very lucky. And also, lip balm is moisturizing. In the essentials video, I kind of touched on serums, but other than a vitamin C serum and a retinol, into that I'm going to add a serum or a treatment. In that video, I kind of suggested that really in your basic routine, you should have a vitamin C and a retinol based on what I've seen dermatologists, estheticians, chemists all talk about when it comes to a good, effective, basic routine. When it comes to what age you should start using retinol, a lot of people ask, I had a 14-year-old the other day ask me if they should start using retinol. It's like, no, not really. Again, going from expert opinions, your late 20s is probably the best time to start. But start when you feel like you need it. Once you start seeing fine lines, go for it. And as for vitamin C, again, use it if you feel you need it. If you want to make your skin look less dull, if you want a brighter complexion, if you want to get rid of those dark spots, hyperpigmentation, use a vitamin C serum. One thing I didn't mention is that I personally do think all serums are an essential stage. Serums, treatments, ampoules, whatever you want to call them, whatever form they come in, they're essential to target very specific skincare concerns. So whilst they're not the basics of a skincare routine, for me, they have been an essential. Whilst retinol and vitamin C are great for a wide range of people, there are some very specific serums that can target your very specific and personal skincare concern. Along with exfoliation, serums are one of the main things that's actually helped even out my skin tone, help fade pigmentation, sometimes even help get rid of redness as well. I say as I'm like boiling hot. Heal damaged skin, etc. There's always a treatment that will work wonders for you. One product I didn't really mention, and that when I look back has been essential to my skincare journey and improving the condition of my skin, is a chemical exfoliator. It did me a world of good, and I'm not talking about physical scrub, not because I just generally dislike them, but I feel like these chemical exfoliators can go deeper into the skin. They show more of a long-term change, long-term results, whereas for me, a physical scrub always just makes my skin feel smooth for like an hour. Do you know what I mean? I just don't feel like I get the benefits from a physical exfoliation that I do a chemical. Even when I use these products just once a week in my 20s, in my routine, they made such a big difference. And the more you use them, the bigger the changes you see. And as long as you keep up using them, these changes hang around. Okay, so let's talk about the extras. These are not really your basic routine or essentials. In my opinion, these are products that you could actually benefit from, but you're not massively missing out if you don't use them. These are products that a dermatologist would probably say they're a waste of time, you don't need those. But I will tell you how each of these I feel has personally changed my skin. Let's start with toners. I actually consider toner part of my own personal basic and essential routine, but they aren't an essential for everyone. They're really not. And that's purely down to the fact that for me, I use a toner because I just want hydration. That's all I kind of expect from a toner, and that extra hydration isn't for everyone. But I do also feel like it gives me a plumper, dewier look to the skin. Toners have a bit of a bad reputation because they used to be known as alcohol-heavy, oil-stripping products that when you were a teenager would completely dry out our skin and tingle and we think they were working. Whereas now they're completely different. They're all about hydration and soothing and caring for the skin. Modern day toners are somewhat becoming a mix of like an essence toner and sometimes even a serum. A lot of brands are now putting very potent ingredients in those toners and making them kind of like one-stop shop for everything in between a cleanser and a moisturizer. As well as thicker hydrating toners, I like toners that are pretty much like water because I like to do my routine on wet skin. And the idea behind this is that products penetrate the skin better and quicker when your skin is still damp. And as mentioned, I feel like I kind of see that. I kind of feel like my skin looks generally just healthier. And mists are just toners, so if you want to use a mist as well, that is definitely an extra step. So in that kind of realm of products, we have essences. Essences always get compared with toners, but I do feel like they're very different because they are really one set particular thing. Think of essence as a toner with more concentrated ingredients for a very specific skincare concern. So whilst toners just hydrate, the most traditional kind of essence is going to moisturize your skin. It's also going to help target fine lines, wrinkles, and help even out your skin tone. Improve overall radiance as well, supposedly. And this is down to the fermented ingredients that you're usually going to find in every essence, and that is what kind of sets it apart from the other products in your routine, especially toners. I personally saw a very big difference in my skin when I started using an essence. My skin did look less dull, it also looked more hydrated and more even as well, but one ingredient you're going to see in essences is niacinamide, and you're going to see that throughout a lot of them. Back then, that would have been my first time using niacinamide in anything, and I do feel like it's the niacinamide that really did the most to my skin. And still to this day, an essence is one of my favorite ways to get a dose of niacinamide into my routine. Face masks, something I feel really isn't an essential, but definitely an extra. I really have a love-hate relationship with them, and it's really to the point where I'm just too lazy to use them. My issue with masks really comes down to the fact that there's always an alternative you can use to get the same effect as you would do from a mask. That takes less time and is less messy. Sheet masks, for example, are just serums, like lots of serum on a bit of cotton, and they're usually just hydrating. And I know a sheet mask usually comes with a promise of these benefits, but in order to get that benefit, you'd have to be using that particular mask every day for months in order to see a difference like you would do a normal serum. So at best, these sheet masks are just hydrating. I will use them before a night out and I want my skin to look plump and healthy. I will use a sheet mask because that's all they really do is hydrate the skin. Eye patches, for example, are just eye creams in a patch form, you know? Clay mask, your kaolin, bentonite clay are very good at removing excess oils. If you're like me and you're very oily on hot summer's days like this, it's nice to decongest with a clay mask. Peel off masks are just an exfoliation as well, but usually a lot harsher on the skin, so I would just not use them altogether. But if you wanted to use them, they are an extra and count it as an exfoliation stage. So speaking of the eye creams is, in my opinion, a bit of an extra as well. The jury is really out amongst experts with this, some saying that they're just fat moisturizers repackaged in a small tub and people will charge you extra for it, and others say they're essential for keeping the eye area wrinkle-free and brighter. So what do we do? Like, they're saying two different things, so here's my 2 pence or 2 cents. Eye creams do not fix anything we think they're going to fix, and they do not fix anything that brands make us believe they're going to fix. Dark circles, an eye cream isn't going to help with that. They're just moisturizers. They are. However, sometimes I do like a separate eye cream is necessary for me, really depending on what moisturizer I'm using. So for example, in the summer, if I'm using a light gel moisturizer that's light enough to go around my eyes, I will just put that moisturizer everywhere. In the winter, if I'm using something thicker, I will use a separate eye cream that's lighter because around my eyes can't handle that kind of thick occlusiveness that I get from different moisturizers. So I will opt for an eye cream that's like a gel light texture. The point that I'm trying to make here is that if I've worked out a moisturizer that works perfectly well around my eyes, I'm going to use it. If you haven't, then yeah, buy yourself an eye cream if it makes it less complicated for you. Going back to dark circles, a lot of people ask me what eye creams to use to get rid of dark circles, bags, discoloration under the eyes, and the truth of the matter is that none of these eye creams are really going to do that for you. You can get prescription ones that lighten pigmentation, but the majority of the time it's just because we're tired or it's reflecting something that's wrong inside of us. So it's the changes that you can make from within as far as diet, sleep, stop smoking, stop drinking lots of caffeine, all those little changes that are going to help with that. If they really bother you, go and get fillers under your eyes. I've had it done before. It's like a layer of hyaluronic acid that plumps up the skin and hides those dark circles. Okay, let's discuss extravagances. So these are like luxury products that you really don't need, but products that have become very, very popular. And I always get asked, like, do I need this? Should I get this? Let's start off with night creams. There are a few reasons why I feel like you do not need a separate night moisturizer to an evening moisturizer. Well, kind of. This is the reason I think they're extravagant. It's because brands tend to put a higher price tag on these night creams because they often are marketed as performing some kind of overnight miracle, especially the anti-aging creams. Second point is you can just use your normal moisturizer. The idea is that you're using a nice occlusive moisturizer in the evening to stop water content from escaping your skin. However, if you have oily skin, you may want to use a thicker moisturizer in the evening to prevent transepidermal water loss, but I wouldn't go out and buy a dedicated night cream. And that's the thing, is I would avoid overnight creams, if that makes sense. Buy a separate moisturizer, have a separate moisturizer to what you would use in the evening, but if it's marketed very specifically as an overnight cream, I just feel like there's an overnight tax on some of these products. I don't know. I do feel like there's a bit of an exception when it comes to moisturizer with actives in, like retinols, vitamin C, AHAs. I've had moisturizers with these in before and they've been amazing. They're really, really good to help if you're just starting on these actives. Skincare tools of any kind, really, really simple. You don't need any of them. Jade rollers, skincare brushes, cleansing devices, saying that I have a Foreo, which I absolutely love, but I know it's like a more luxurious item. LED masks, I know like a lot of these things do have like a cultural connection to, and if you want to massage your skin, that's absolutely fine. However, I do not personally feel like your skin will diminish massively if you aren't using these products. Don't stress about it. I do think, however, we all deserve something a little bit extravagant within our skincare routine. Remember, we are worth the investment that we are putting into our skin, not because we want to make ourselves look perfect or we want our skin to look perfect, but because we deserve the time that we put into ourselves when it comes to these more luxurious items. The confidence a good relaxing skincare routine and a bit of you time can give you is worth a bit of extra cash here and there. So let me know what you think about my sum up in the comments down below. If there's anything I've missed, let me know as well, because I know there's something I've missed and it's really bugging me. Like, I'm looking but I can't see anything. Let me know in the comments down below. Next time I won't be as sweaty, I promise, or as flushed and red. Oh my god. But that is it from me now, guys. I will see you next time.